We're getting to be live. Oh, it's alive. Receiving content. Okay. Looks like we should be honky-dory. Yeah, looking like we're good. Okay. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Dustin Cormier, and welcome to another episode of How to Rock Spirit. Thank you so much for coming. Today we're going to talk about someone with an Aquarius sun born in the year of the dragon, or any emphasis of dragon in one's chart. As we know in Chinese astrology, it's not just about the year sign, it's also about you could be in the month of the dragon, you could be in the day of the dragon, or you can be in the hour of the dragon. And each of these will contribute to the dragon's personality in your general energy field and consciousness makeup. So before I did this video, I also did one on Capricorn Sun in the year of the dragon. And before that, if you just skip to the end of this video, you'll see a link to a 2.5 hour thing that we just did talking about Saturn-ruled Sun, so that's Capricorn and Aquarius, in the year of the dragon. If you want to know more about this combination, go and check that out. In these videos, I like to talk a little bit about my impression of the combination, the Aquarius Sun and the Dragon. And then later on, we're going to talk about 3 different books, 3 different authors' interpretations of this combination to really flesh it out. Basically, the only thing I can think to say about this combination is that Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but it is the more positive, airy expression of Saturn. Saturn is ruled by the air Panchatattva anyway. So for Aquarius and Capricorn alike, these people are driven by duty. The sun coming through Aquarius has a strong need to feel like they're doing their duty well, like they're organizing people very well. They've got a good, they're an air sign, so they've got a good, strong social consciousness. And they can kind of wheel and deal and be lighthearted about work. But ultimately, they're very concerned with everybody in their group doing a good job. And this comes through the dragon, too. We talked about how Aquarius can be a bit of a pessimist. But the dragon is sort of like plucky and lucky and considers himself fortunate, and it's this like power that senses itself, its own power, and it's just ready to go and do some stuff. Yeah, let's do some stuff. Dragon is just this very vital energy. Dragon's main energy is yang earth, and that's the stomach, and it's also a muscular area. These people tend to be athletic and muscular, and to use muscular force to just pound against the doors of the material reality in order to bust through them. And that's the dragon, and Aquarius is a bit like that too. The dragon is being ruled by its stomach, has a sense of a numerical intuition, meaning they're very concerned with like when they're at their job or with their family, their finances. They're really interested in doing their taxes, making sure that all their personal finances are accounted for, and not being too lascivious about it. They'll probably have a modest household, modest appropriations for their kids, although they like to, do well for their kids and set them up for college and things like that. But those are practical values. They've got a deep sense of the value of being practical and also working hard, having a strong work ethic. This work ethic thing is deeply in their consciousness, Dragon and Aquarius alike. Dragon, because it's ruled by the stomach and yang earth, it's like it wants to keep a system, a structure, a business, a few businesses, a few jobs, and to get high positions in whatever it is that they're doing through their ability to organize people and communicate and to know how to deal with people well. Although Capricorn is better at knowing how to use people effectively, Aquarius is just good at just knowing what the job needs best for whatever individual, whoever you are. Just, we need somebody doing this. They've got a strong sense of what the group organization needs in order to fulfill and to go its farthest. Dragon will be with this stomach intuition. It'll be counting all the numbers. It'll make sure that the corporation, it'll see the other corporations, see how other competitors are doing, and start taking bits of the culture that's moving, bits of other competitors, and saying, we got to use this guy's idea here now, and integrate it. It's the wood energy of the dragon. Like, the earth likes to keep a solid thing that's reliable and doesn't move that much. But it's yang earth, so it will adjust accordingly to what technology brings to the table, to what other people, other countries, other cultures bring to the table. And it's the wood in the dragon that is looking at the immediate environment, seeing what everyone else is doing, and doing what it can to stay ahead of the immediate competition close to its surrounding environs. Like I'm talking about in town. Like, dragon is a global person. Dragon wants to take what's happening on the global sphere, especially with this Aquarius sun. They're very interested in business and in doing well with groups and these sorts of things. The dragon will take what's happening in the global sphere and bring it down to their small town and say, no one in our small town is taking advantage of this global new operation. Let's make it happen. So these are just some general themes that I've picked up from talking about the Aquarius sun and the year of the dragon. Now what we're going to do, I should always say, feel free, thank you from Aquarius Dragon, Ascendant Tiger. Thank you so much, Pamela. This video is so totally for you. And I hope you enjoy. I would love to hear what you think about it at the end of things. And to anybody else who might be interested, feel free to make a comment here on YouTube, and I will try and do what I can to comment on it live and to try to make it conducive to the constructive discussion of the theme at hand. But just feel free to say whatever and we'll rap about it. Pertinent questions that I can't answer right away will be held for the end. And everything else, we can just shoot the shit at the end, right? Now, like I said, for these videos, I like to do a reading coming from 3 different authors. This first reading comes from the Handbook of Chinese Horoscopes by Theodora Lau and Laura Lau. This is one of my first books that I got on Chinese astrology, and it's really helped me to get where I'm at today with regard to the psychological backdrop of each animal. Some different people get at Chinese astrology knowledge in different ways. How I started is the same way most people start with astrology. When you hear about like Aries, you learn that it's the cardinal sign, that it's a fire sign, that it starts spring, that it's ruled by Mars, and all these things that make up the archetype. And when you read like the sun in Aries, just that, you read about it and you're like, how do these astrologers know what makes up an Aries sun? And eventually you learn the backbone of what makes up the sign. But when you first start, you just kind of learn, okay, let me just read about an Aries sun and see what they're like in relation to the other signs. And that was very much my first knowledge conquest of Chinese astrology, through books like these. Western English-speaking interpreters interpreting the energy of the Chinese signs. It's not till later that I learned that the dragon is a yang earth energy. It's ruled by its stomach. It's in the water triangle, all these sorts of things. You just sort of learn later. But these authors have a good description of the nature of the Chinese animal in combination with the Western sign. What I will say before we go, I should say that, again, I always make this disclaimer. Western and Chinese astrology have never met except for like within the last like 60 years. The Chinese, they had a tropical astrology. I don't know if they took that much interest in it, but generally the Taoist healing arts is more connected to Bazi. And it's not about the planets, it's about like how many times the earth has gone around the sun in a 12-year cycle, which is also a part of a 60-year cycle. And within that 12-year cycle, there's also the 12-month cycle and also a 12-day cycle within the month cycles too. It's like numerological patterns that the Chinese were onto, which were not talked about at all in Vedic times or in ancient Babylonian times when Western astrology was conceived. The Chinese have been thinking about these things for like thousands of years. Just like Western astrologers have been thinking about Leo and Capricorn and all their signs for thousands of years. But they've never been combined together. So whenever you consider these readings, just keep in mind that this is a new science, a new astrology that is still fresh, and it's up to people like myself and people like you who are reading these interpretations to digest and to move forward with agreed upon directions as to what is the nature of Chinese astrology as it relates to Western astrology. No one knows. There's no science about it. There's no fucking scripture behind it. So it's up to us to read what we see in the Chinese and to learn by our own deduction how it is that the Chinese astrology relates to our energy sphere and to our personal health, our personal healing, and our personal wellness, as well as the wellness of our connections with other people as it relates to our Western chart. That's what we're doing here today. Yeah. Just give me one sec. What I feel like doing, every now and then I like to do this. We got some fancy sage going on. Get some nice smells going in here. And while I do, we are going to talk today, like I said, about Aquarius Sun coming through the year of the dragon. First reading coming from Theodora Lau and Laura Lau. The catalytic result of this combination is a person with an uncommon clarity of vision, backed by an authoritativeness that is difficult to ignore or challenge. The Aquarius dragon is forever changing and improving things in highly individualistic and expansive ways. Deceit is anathema to the shining dragon, while the breezy Aquarian wins distinction for his ability to deal with people in tough situations. So the dragon just hates like when someone is not coming clearly through with whatever they promised. And Aquarius, the breezy Aquarius, can deal with tough people and tough situations, like even people who have no sense of emotional relationship. The Aquarius, even if they can be a soft and emotional person in themselves, some can, though they're not always. It's more Aquarius moon that has a tough time dealing with emotions. But if an Aquarius sun is dealing with like Capricorn moon or Aquarius moon, someone who's just has just got lots of snarl in them, they can move it. They can move that smoke around and be breezy about these tough situations. So the Aquarius dragon together, this person can be sudden and unorthodox, but never cruel or scheming. Both of these signs forgive and forget, although the dragon is warlike when thwarted, whereas the water bearer Aquarius is more broad-minded and brotherly. Aquarius doesn't, if the Aquarius feels like someone is being annoying to the group and everyone agrees with it, it's the Aquarius that will read everyone's interpretations and be like, so everyone thinks you're a dick, you know, and like they'll bring it out like that. I mean, the dragon in this combination wouldn't care about that so much unless it was like bringing everybody down and hurting the numbers. You know, the dragon being ruled by the stomach just doesn't care. You can be as friggin' weird or annoying or emotionally complex as you want, as long as you show up for the job and you don't mess up my business. That's what the dragon's sort of interested in. The Aquarius is this quirky, idiosyncratic fellow who sees when people are weird and kind of can make a joke about it, and they're not really always dicks. Although these people can be. Nah, they've got the brotherhood vibe. Aquarius always has an interest in everyone being pulled together with all of our idiosyncrasies. We're all weird, but we can all pull together for the humanitarian effort of a bunch of resources coming together to make something, which is a sum greater than its parts. That is Aquarius to a T. Bring all these weird pieces together and make it more than the pieces. Right? Ergonomic. But if there's someone in the group who's really bringing the group down, the Aquarius dragon is the person who's going to be kind of like, do you know you're being a dick? They'll just bring it right out like that, you know? So that's our first reading. I always like to read this one because it gives us a quick, it's the handbook of Chinese horoscopes. It gives us a quick little taste and breaks through the ice of the character of the sign that we're going to talk about. And these next two readings by Mantak Chia and also another lady, Suzanne White, they sort of break down this character a little bit more deeply. They flesh it out. So, this next reading, the same thing, Aquarius Dragon, comes from Cosmic Astrology by Mantak Chia and William Yu Wei. An east-west guide to your internal energy persona. Give me that sage. Just hook it to my veins. I like to occasionally remind folks that I'm my day sign. The day sign is a huge expression of your natural energy. I'm the water horse. Hi, nice to meet you. I always like to say it occasionally just because I like everyone. It's good to know the energy of the person that's giving you certain information anyway, because it's coming through the nature of me. But I like to, that's why, I do my personal interpretation, and then I read from these texts. These texts have been sort of digested by people. It's still coming through their consciousness. But, the people who do these texts tend to go by the symbols, and it's a bit more generalized. It's not just the water horse's interpretation of Aquarius Sun Dragon, right? Now, this is Mantak Chia talking about Aquarius Sun coming through the year of the dragon. Keyword for Aquarius is understood. Keyword for dragon is take charge. If one wants to know who is right, there's no need to look any farther than the Aquarius dragon. This combination will, each and every time, virtually without exception, take over. Now, there are reasons for this. It's not like a Leo. My personal note, it's different from a Leo sun. Leo sun will really, really try hard to get on top of things. And sometimes that energy is strong enough that it can come out just because they're a natural born leader and they're looking at internal instincts. But Aquarius sun is aware of how the world works. Leo knows how they work, and they don't know exactly how the world works all the time, but they're going to smash their head against it until it forms to their will. And a lot of times it does, but a lot of times people can smell the ego in the Leo. Aquarius reads not only their own ego, but also the whole situation in context, especially with the dragon, with this whole wood and earth energy, being aware of the numbers, and wood being aware of the immediate vital environment. So, these people will take over each and every time without exception, and there are reasons for this. The fact is, Aquarius dragon is so ambitious that what they do is done not only correctly and properly, but also beyond the call of duty. The Aquarius dragon is a take charge type of person. They know they are the leader of the pack, and there will be no questioning it. There's a driving ambition that refuses to be deterred, and they know everything. They are the quintessential know-it-alls. This combination is a tough cookie once they have their minds made up. They will not be denied. They are in the ballpark of Attila the Hun in terms of their desire to conquer and the lengths they will go to in that quest. These people are willing to step on competitors as if they were annoying insects. They can act and pretend and deceive on their road to power. We often think in terms of, in Chinese philosophy in general, there's a big thing that says, he who laughs last laughs best. The Aquarius sun, the dragon is driven like deeply by that motif. It's like their ambition just will drive them, and they just want to be the last laugh. And the Aquarius sun will take everything into consideration in order to make that happen, along with the dragon's natural ambition to do the same. So these people will and can act and pretend and deceive on their road to power. They can still be ethical people, This doesn't mean that they're bad for doing this. They just know what's best, and when a situation calls them to transmute themselves to fit their will positively to conquer that situation, they will do it, whatever it is. And when they come back from the situation, they'll talk to you and, oh, hi, I'm still the nice guy that you talked to. Still just me. I just am going to fucking win it no matter what. That's how these people are. There's no implication in any of this that the Aquarius dragon could be obnoxious. There you go. These people are not obnoxious. They are judicious in their approach to everything. They're respectable both in their family life and in their professional life. And this respect is earned. They don't want something for nothing. Aquarius dragons are willing to work for what they have, including being the boss. Now, in romance, Aquarius dragons have the green monster of jealousy in their makeup. They're extremely jealous, controlling, and possessive people. The Aquarius dragon can be charming to the right match, but it's still best to refrain from any hint of interest in a third party. They live in fear of losing their partner to competition, and to betray them, even mentally, is not wise. They are, after all, highly sensitive. The Aquarius dragon wants to own and control his or her romantic partner. I got people upstairs making lots of noise right now. I'm just going to kind of wait until it sounds like my buddy Flop is grinding up the beans for his coffee. Loud up there today. I live in my basement. It's cool. The Aquarius dragon wants to own and control his or her romantic partner. Their motives are pure, even if the idea itself is not. They want to help their partner, and they want to do this because it makes them look better, the Aquarius dragon. A happy lover makes an Aquarius dragon happy. And because this combination knows everything, he proceeds to help his partner in the manner of an Aquarius dragon by being dominating. Oh, you need help with that? You're weak in that particular thing? Well, we better fix that. You know? It's just kind of the way these people are. But what I will say in terms of like the jealousy and like they're not the types to like cheat or anything like that, but ultimately what I would like to say is that the health of Venus in your personal chart and the relationship of Venus to Saturn in your Western chart will really is the true statement of how you deal with relationships, in my personal opinion. Although in Chinese astrology, if you've got like, you know, the peach blossom on your hour or your day, that makes it tough for you to deal with relationships. If you've got like a very weak day branch, right? If the animal that's in your day pillar is like hurt by another animal, then you might have complications in your relationships with people, and that might exacerbate what this is talking about here. But ultimately, I mean, it's not necessarily saying anything negative. It's just the way they are with romance. Is the Aquarius dragon wants to own and control his or her romantic partner, help them, and wants to help them because it makes them look better. These sorts of themes, you know. Ultimately, at the deep heart of it, like this person could just, it's just the way they are. And when you look past the sun, when you look, we're just talking about sun and the year of the dragon. When you look past all that, you could just have the heart of someone who deeply cares about you. They just layer on top the fact that they're an Aquarius in the year of the dragon. You know, that's how you got to consider these things when we read about romance and astrology. There's an essence of you that it integrates all the parts. These are just two parts that we're talking about, right? Now, in relationships, poor picks for compatibility for the Aquarius dragon include Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio dogs especially. And even closer to the very bottom of the list, well, not closer, at the very bottom of the list is Taurus monkey. Even though monkey and dragon are in the same triad, monkey and dragon are both in the water triad, Taurus monkey is, I guess, just not a good combination for the Aquarius dragon. A superior choice for love is the Gemini tiger. Another terrific selection is the Sagittarius rat. Rat specifically does well with dragon, being in the same triangle. Continuing the list of possibly good selections in romance are Gemini, Libra, and Sagittarius monkeys. Because monkey, again, is in the same triangle, so Gemini, Libra, and Sagittarius would do well with an Aquarius dragon. I'm just looking around here, folks, because it looks like I'm delaying a little bit. No, my stream health is good. Just hope that like I don't have crappy internet or something like that happening. I'm just a little bit behind my computer, and that doesn't usually happen. But that's okay. As long as you guys can see me. Yep, cool. All right, so you guys are reading me. I'm good. Okay. Feel free to make a comment if you see any junk happening. My computer's already telling me high computer usage. I guess I gotta clean out my computer. Let me know if this is coming out crappy, because I can't always tell when I'm looking at my screen. I can see it delaying a little bit, but as long as you guys can hear me okay, then we're good to go. Now, in family life, the Aquarius dragon parent is exceptionally conscientious. They help not only their own children, but other people's children as well. In parenthood groups, these people will, of course, want to be in charge. They are prone to want to create their children in their own image. Aquarius Sun Dragon. The Aquarius dragon is a combination that leans towards the pragmatic over the beautiful. It's usefulness, you know. Intellectually, they have a good aesthetic sense, But that is not their choice for their personal environment. You know, they know what looks good and what is aesthetically pleasing, and they'll use it in business. They can be very good with feng shui in a business office and things like that, but they don't personally care about it. The most important issue for the Aquarius dragon is that things work properly. That means the kitchen must be suitable and completely functional. Their home needs sufficient electrical outlets. Sinks must not drip. These are the kind of things these people are interested in. It's just like an OCD thing. Livelihood. This combination has a realistic philosophy of life and matures at an early age. Their views are well regarded, and they fall into being the boss in an instinctive manner. The Aquarius dragon is naturally tactful. They make a good boss because they don't say things in a way that are brutally annoying or whatever. They're socially aware. They also have a bit of a nomad in them. As employees, they work well, and as bosses, they are excellent. They do tend, however, to relocate or change positions. The Aquarius dragon has an ability for administration and, of course, management. This ability extends from their home to the workplace. They are superb at human resources as well. They do well in positions of leadership and have a calm demeanor. They are knowledgeable about money and know how to use it properly. They take the middle path relative to finances. They have an aptitude for investing and increasing their financial resources. Yeah. Putting their resources into stocks or, some right way that will kind of make their lives easier. Both of them are interested in that. Dragon ultimately just wants to be free to fly. Same thing with the Capricorn. Children for these people, as well as the Capricorn, probably amounts to someone who at the end of things will allow them to fly freely in whatever it is that they want to do. Although Aquarius is fixed, and, I almost feel like Aquarius, like the Capricorn sun dragon, has that tail fin and just wants to swim and glide, and it's hard about structures and reality just in order that it doesn't have to deal with them later on. Aquarius sun dragon probably is actually just gets off on having a closed electrical circuit where it can spend its life energy positively impressing itself as well as other people by its ability to be responsible. I think that's they I guess kids for them is still, once the kids are all grown up and they go off, this Aquarius sun dragon person will be like, fuck, what am I going to do to stay busy? They're one of these people that might have a hard time retiring at the end of things. Now we're about to read our final author's interpretation of this energy. I'm just going to take a peek. Polo. Someone was saying Marco. Oh boy. It's unfortunate that my computer is just so... Oh, I'm looking back and it looks like it's all clean, so... Maybe it's just my computer on my end that's a little bit skippy. It's okay. We're coming along here, folks. Virgo, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Scorpio. Cool, Goosey. That makes sense to me. Cool. Glad you're enjoying it, Pamela. And our friend Angel Fish. Glad you're here with us as well. Feel free to continue to make any comments if you guys feel so fit. For now, we are going to go into our third reading of today. This is the New Astrology, a synthesis of the Chinese and Western, by Suzanne White. A precursor, or a, what's the word? Disclaimer that I always like to say about this book or any book about Western and Chinese astrology. You know, this lady, Suzanne White, I think she just gets like a deep interpretation of the symbols, meets people in her reality who are this thing. Like maybe she's met an Aquarius dragon, saw what they're like, and then kind of jotted them down, and saw several of them and saw what's the same in them all, you know. But it's always possible that every Aquarius dragon that they met all had like a Cancer rising, or like, you know, like something that would skew the true nature of the symbols, and then she gives this informal interpretation of the symbols based on her experience, and her experience might not be true to what the symbols represent at their deepest. This is just, you know, again, there's no scripture in today's time that is thousands of years old that talks about Aquarius sun coming through the energy of dragon. It's a new cultural birthing of these two completely different cultural strands. Doesn't mean that they're incompatible. It means that it's two pieces of the energy field that have never met in our psychological understanding and awareness. So just, you know, I always say that just to keep it in mind whenever we read these interpretations, that it's just somebody's interpretation. Try to see the essence of the symbols within these authors' interpretations, because that's something we have to do as people in today's time, as cultural instigators of different understandings of these timeless wisdoms and metaphysical archetypes. Yeah. Okay. Almost done for today. Gosh, I've been at this since like 4 o'clock. 4.5 hours in. Aquarius dragon. The keyword for Aquarius is I know. The keyword for dragon is I preside. She makes a cool little thing here out of this. I know and I preside as two characters, okay? She's characterizing those two things, okay? I know and I preside. We're walking across the bridge. One of them fell in. Who was left? That's correct. No matter which way you look at this character, he's right up there in the top 20. I don't really get the metaphor she was going for there, but I guess they're both there. It's hard to say which part of this character is more driving forward, I guess is what she's trying to say there. Anyway, you see, Aquarius dragon always takes over. Nothing can stop this person, as they both know and preside better than anybody else. They know more than everybody, and they preside better than everybody. No matter what he or she does, it will be accomplished with flourish and style. Aquarius dragons are know-it-alls, yet circumspect about showing it. They are family-oriented and respect social conventions. This person's nature is both hard-nosed and unswayable. Once they've declared something, it's impossible to change their mind. Aquarius dragons give off severity rays. They are powerhouses who will stoop to anything in order to conquer their prey. Aquarius dragons want things done their way. They hate competition. They are capable of enormous hoaxes to get control over others. While the Aquarius dragon is looking for followers, anything goes. Poetry, humor, logic, charisma, noise, favors, money, and so on. Of course, what I call hoax may really be charm and diplomacy. But whatever you call it, this character uses liters of it daily. He really lays it on. He's polite and well-spoken. He's proper and mannerly. Frankly, I think he's a bit much. But you cannot take away the fact that the Aquarius dragon is enormously successful. This subject is an organizer. They are sharp-minded and they go straight to the point. Other, more fiery dragons sometimes miss the mark because of their uppity egos. The dragon-born Aquarius doesn't really have that problem. It sort of tones it down. Aquarius lends clarity to the dynamic dragon. This person is a cool customer. People are attracted to his air of protectiveness and his earnest desire to please. With all of this glory, the Aquarius dragon is a worried person that can be a bit pessimistic. Despite an outer shell of togetherness, this subject gnaws at himself about eventualities. He's a shade pessimistic about the future. He does not like to lose control. Therefore, whatever is out of his hands, as yet unformed and uncertain, troubles this mistrustful character. He may become frantic and even neurotic over events that seem to be shifting away from his sphere of influence. In worldly matters, this niggling dread can be useful. It keeps the Aquarian dragon on his toes. But in the personal realm, where romance or sentiment is concerned, this feeling of impending loss panics the soul of our hero and threatens to develop into real hysteria. When emotions are at stake, Aquarius dragon loses his cool in seconds. He's vastly sentimental and not always secure about his place in the heart of the loved one. His apparent calm then serves as a cover for this bottomless pit feeling of possible loneliness that stalks the Aquarius dragon's private hell. This person cannot deal with being alone. The Aquarius dragon is never intentionally mean or petty. His pleasure is in serving as control center. He wants to be mother, boss, chief, owner, handler, manager, and everything else. His aim is to protect and to serve. He or she wants to watch things grow, to improve, or to allow to flower elements over which he or she has this famous control. As the dragon, born in Aquarius, is not particularly creative himself, his or her objective in love or friendship, or even work situations, is to implement improvement. Aquarius dragons don't mind running the show from the wings, as long as they're running the show. Now, Aquarius dragon in love. Here, in romantic situations, the Aquarius dragon is ruthless for power. He wants to get and keep a lover forever. Of course, his desire for emotional dominion has nothing to do with evil or wickedness. The Aquarius dragon wants to help his or her loved one. The service they render enhances their own self-image. The better off the loved one is, the happier the Aquarius dragon will be. There is here a potential for blind jealousy. It's just like, no matter how secure the Aquarius dragon's lover can secure the love, they're just always thinking it over in their heads. Why is this person being so quick to secure this love? It's because they don't actually love me? It's just the way their mind is. So, should you be in the clutches of such a serviceable charmer as Aquarius dragon, I suggest you never mention the name of another possible lover or mistress, in his fragile, incendiary presence. These folks suffer immense anxiety about losing you. Don't play with their delicate heartstrings. Remember that all Aquarians know how to do is think. They freak over dealing with feeling. Moreover, the Aquarius dragon is looking for someone more kinky than himself. You'll be allowed much mental leeway, but no free love detours. Compatibilities. We already talked about that, and this is basically the same thing. Aries and Gemini tigers are good. Libra and Sagittarius rat is good. Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius monkey provides fascinating company and keeps you on your toes. You might also be attracted to an Aries rooster. The reciprocity quotient is low, but the game's a treat for Aries rooster. Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio dogs don't approve of you, and Taurus-born monkeys find you too much of a challenge. Now, home and family. The home of the Aquarius dragon tends to favor the practical over the aesthetic. Not aesthetic, but aesthetic. Although this person is sensitive to beauty and reacts positively to artistic creation, the interior of his or her home will not necessarily indicate a search for loveliness. This is a practical person. The ovens will work well and the sinks will be ample. As these persons are family responsible in the extreme, they will probably not assist parents and siblings, but will also want to have children of their own. As these persons are family responsible in the extreme, they will probably not only assist parents and siblings, that's what I wanted to say. They will assist their parents and siblings, and in fact, they will want to have children of their own. They are reliable parents and even have a bit of Pygmalion streak. In lieu of being creative themselves, they wish to shape and mold human beings as though they were dolls. They will care for their offspring, worry, fret, cook, sew, earn, comfort, protect, teach, you name it. They'll do it in spades. Now, little Aquarius dragon as a child, these kids also fret a lot. They are concerned about their own futures, and they worry that their parents may not be well or happy. They take on lots of personal guilt for what happens at home, and must be reasoned with about assuming too much responsibility. They are good workers in school and very attached to their family unit's strength. Sometimes, as young adults, they leave home for a while to test their iconoclastic secrets. But rebellion, in the case of clear-thinking Aquarius dragons, doesn't go very far. Parents who have an Aquarian dragon child should think twice about divorce. Schism is hard on this clinging nature's nerves. Now, a profession for Aquarius dragon. Talented for organizing anything from office structures to personnel duties, the Aquarius-born dragon can function in most any job requiring leadership and equanimity. This person is clever and moderate with money, and they know how to increase their earnings through investment. They're usually a serious student and will begin achieving in the real world at a young age. The Aquarius dragon is a natural boss. People like and respect his opinions, and he's very diplomatic, remember. He's peripatetic by nature, too, and can work comfortably at different rungs of the hierarchical ladder. The Aquarius dragon is destined for long-term job as well as personal commitment. He will not be tempted to change careers on a whim. Employment is no problem for this highly employable character. He'll do anything on his way up. Sweep, push a pencil, run the elevator, but he won't have to do any menial job for long, as his superior executive talents are recognized soon enough. Promotion every 2 or 3 years is common for these people. Not only coming from the Aquarius, but also from the dragon. The dragon with that enthusiastic, just like, yeah, like that spirit that wants to climb. They won't, these people will be more happy to do a menial job than a Capricorn sun dragon will. These people will, sweep, and they'll just do this meaningless crap until the boss recognizes that they're there on time all the time, and then they talk to the boss and they say, yeah, I'm just, I'm really waiting to do some more stuff, and I can't wait to do more. And then the boss says, so you are. The Aquarius dragon may enjoy the following jobs: householder, stockbroker, banker, vice president in charge of investments, company director, personnel manager, hospital administrator, librarian, and they'd make a good writer too. Some famous Aquarius dragons include S.J. Perelman, Ayn Rand, Roger Vadim, Roger Mudd, Neil Diamond, awesome, Placido Domingo, Stephanie of Monaco, Smokey Robinson, and Jean Moreau. The only two that I knew in there was Neil Diamond and Smokey Robinson, although I've heard of Ayn Rand. That's pretty cool. Neil Diamond's awesome. He's got some wicked tunes. Rosie Dew, my lovely child, she's got the way to make me happy. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that it's been a long go for me today. It's 8:46. I'm almost at 5 hours on the computer today. The keyword for Capricorn, Goosey, there was 2 of them. One of them was utilize, from Mantak Chia's Cosmic Astrology. Yeah, Cracklin' Rosie. I like that one too, Goosey. And then the keyword for Capricorn in this book was I use. So they're similar. Capricorn likes to utilize whatever resources they've got to the best to their advantage. So, thank you for that, Goosey. And thank you to everybody who may have been watching this live or who might be watching it on YouTube. My name's Dustin Cormier. It's been a pleasure to talk about this stuff with you guys. I love to do this. It's just, it works well with everything that I got going on in my own personal chart. And this has been an episode of How to Rock Spirit. Stay tuned because, well, this Sunday I'm going to do a video that's talking about Scorpio woman in sextrology. It's a book written by Starsky and Cox. It's pretty sexy. It's going to talk about Scorpio woman, straight woman in this particular episode. And also all of the combinations of Scorpio woman with straight men, Aries sun men, Taurus sun men, all the way through. And in erotically. It's a erotic-centric thing. So anyway, yeah, that's this coming Sunday at 4 o'clock. But in terms of people watching this series, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody here being a part of the unfolding of what Chinese astrology has to offer, tropical astrology, I should say. What I'm trying to do is underline what Chinese astrology has to bring to Western astrology and the strengths and importance which Western astrology has to bring to Chinese astrologers and Bazi. Because they're two cultural strands, getting at two different parts of the energy field, which to me are both poignant in finding self-realization and using one's past karma to their best luck and advantage here in the present moment. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dustin Cormier for How to Rock Spirit. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. The next episode of this series, my Chinese and Tropical, will be Fire Panchatattva coming through the sign of the snake. So that means the Fire Panchatattva is the rulership of the Sun and Mars. So that basically means Aries Sun, Scorpio Sun, and Leo Sun coming through the sign of the snake. It's going to be a huge leadership energy, and I can't wait to talk with you about it. Thank you so much for watching.